Bonjour. Today we are going to have a look at section B of the GCSE writing exam. Section B is going to look like this, okay? You will have 90 words to write in French following the instructions. Let's have a look at what the instructions are about today. Write approximately 90 words in French. You must write something about each bullet point. So, in this particular exercise, we are asking you to describe A, your relationship with your family or friends, B, how you stay healthy, and C, your plans for work or study in the future. Now let's have a look at how we can tackle this as quickly and more efficiently as we can. So technically, you're going to have to write about 30 words for each bullet points. Okay, how are we going to do that? We're going to do that in a very ordered way. What I follow sometimes is this, the acronym ODET. ODET, O for opinion. Give your opinion. And then D, develop it. Okay, and E, give me an example or two. It depends how many words you need to write. And think of T, tenses. It's really, really important. So let's have a look at the three statements again. Now, looking at the 3 bullet points, I can see straight away that we are talking about theme 1 here. It's people and lifestyle. So knowing that, you've got to get into, all the vocabulary needed in order to get the most amount of points using the vocabulary for that very theme, okay? So let's have a look at relationship with your family. You can talk about anything you want, okay? It has to agree with you. You can't make it up, really. For my example, I'm going to say that I'm going to get on really well with my family and with my sister, even though I argue with her sometimes. So this is the sentence I'm going to start with. So I'm going to start with my family, and then we'll go on with whether I get on with my friends and what I do or get up to during this time. So because it's an email and I'm writing to a French friend, I'm going to be quite colloquial. So instead of saying bonjour, I'm going to say salut, for example. You can say bonjour, of course, or cher Tom, dear Tom, whatever you want, okay? Salut. And then you carry on and talk about your family. En ce moment, okay, at this moment in time, you could say, I get on really well with my family. Now, again, these are words and sentences you should know and learn by heart. Je m'entends bien avec ma famille, for example. Okay. Now remember that what you write here for your writing will be very useful for the oral exam as well. So learn new topics really clearly, learn how to answer the questions, because the questions you are going to have in your oral exam, the chances that will be reflected also on the writing exam. All right, so salut, en ce moment, je m'entends bien avec ma famille. Please learn je m'entends bien. I get on well, okay? It is known as a reflexive verb. We need you to learn it by heart, okay? Surtout, we could say especially. Surtout, okay? Avec ma sœur, okay? Ma sœur, par exemple. But of course, if you don't have a sister, you could say surtout avec mon frère. Je m'entends bien avec mon frère. Je m'entends bien avec mes parents, etc., etc. D'accord? And then you add a difficulty to your sentence. And this is where you're going to have a top-notch, answer. Even though I argue with her a lot, you could say. So, même si, you could say that, même si, ou cependant, je me dispute avec elle. Même si, parfois, sometimes, ou quelquefois, again, learn your linking words here. Même si, parfois, nous disputons, and this is where the marks will come up, yeah? Nous disputons, nous disputons parfois. Même si, parfois, nous disputons. Or, même si, nous disputons parfois. That works equally. Okay? So the difficulty here is nous disputons. So learn se disputer. Again, reflexive verb. Okay? When you use nous, the reflexive pronoun is nous. So nous, and then disputer is the word, so argue, okay? It's a ER verb, first group verb, so that's easy to conjugate, okay? This sentence is really cool, okay? And we are addressing the relationship with the family. Now, with friends, you can come up with anything, okay? Do you spend a lot of time with your friends? Oui, okay, so just tell your friend by email. Je passe. You could say je passe aussi beaucoup de temps. For example, je passe aussi beaucoup de temps avec, okay, with what? You could say mon meilleur ami, my best friend, okay? Or mes amis, my friends, okay? Mes amis. And here you're addressing the second part of the first bullet. So, je passe beaucoup de temps avec mes amis, okay? You could say when? Le samedi soir, le dimanche, le weekend, for example. I'm going to write le weekend, okay? Okay, so here we have addressed the first statement, okay? So this is about 30 or 32 words. So you are a third of the way through already, okay? What happens with the next statement? How you stay healthy. So you're going to tell your friend how to stay healthy. Follow the instructions, okay? Look at the tense. Remember the tense? Very important. Okay, here it doesn't tell me anything whether it was in the past or in the future. It's literally in the present tense. So we are going to address that in the present tense. Unless you want to be very clever and you want to say, well, usually I do sports 3 times a week, for example, and I try to eat healthily. However, last week I ate a pizza. And then you're showing your examiner that you can conjugate in the past tense. Okay, try to be clever. So for this, let me use another part of the paper so we see very clearly the 3 bullet points. Okay, pour rester en bonne santé. Pour rester en bonne santé. Now again, these are words that you should know by heart. Pour rester en bonne santé, virgule, what do you do? What do you do? Think about what you do to stay healthy. Je fais du sport, okay, and tell me how many times per week. 3 fois par semaine, for example. Yeah? Je fais du sport 3 fois par semaine. And do you eat healthily as well? Et, I try, j'essaie de manger. So it's either you try sainement, for example, or you want to be more clever, less fast food. You could say that as well, and that shows the examiner that you can use less, moins. Okay, so j'essaie de manger moins, okay, par exemple, de fast food. We use the same, okay. Again, you could add on cependant, la semaine dernière, j'ai mangé une pizza. You could, okay, if you wanted to be clever and add a difficult tense, such as the passé composé, that could be one. So I can add it on cependant, okay. La semaine dernière, oh, sorry about that, la semaine dernière, j'ai mangé. Now again, you have learned the passé composé. J'ai mangé, you should know that by heart. Un burger, une pizza, whatever, okay? Yeah, so look what we've done. However, we counteract what we said. I ate last week a pizza. So that's a good statement. Now, let's have a look at the last one, okay? The last one is your plans for work or study in the future. What tense do you think we are going to use here? Yeah. What is it testing you here? Yeah, your conjugation skills, okay? So you've got to be clever here because it's written in the future. You're going to write at least a sentence in the future, okay? So we could talk about going to university, for example, okay? So in the future, à l'avenir, okay, what would you like to do? you can use a conditional. I would like to do. J'aimerais. J'aimerais. Again, you learn these little words, tenses, conjugation, verbs. Learn how to say I would like. For example, je voudrais, but also j'aimerais. Okay, learn these pre-made sentences by heart. Yeah. So, à l'avenir, j'aimerais. Again, it's your story. I could say, j'aimerais étudier le droit à l'université. Why not? I'd like to study law at university. Not that that will ever happen to me, but à l'avenir, j'aimerais étudier. But you can do whatever you want. La médecine, par exemple. J'aimerais étudier le droit à l'université. OK? So, à l'avenir, j'aimerais étudier le droit à l'université. Okay? Why? Develop. Why? Okay? Now remember the audit rule. Okay? The audit is the opinion, the develop, and the example, and the tense, and so on. Just, follow that frame. Le droit à l'université parce que, okay? Je veux devenir avocat ou avocate, okay? Because I want to be a lawyer, okay? But you can develop even more because I want the sense of justice and whatever it is that goes through your mind. But it has to agree with you, okay? Your personality. Make it as close as possible. Don't invent everything because you're going to lose it. You're going to try to learn everything by heart and you're going to panic on the day maybe. So it's better if when you write your sentences that it is related to what you do, what you want to do at university, as long as you use a future, okay? So where is the future in that? It's here. L'année prochaine ou cet été, okay? What am I going to do cet été? You could say, je vais chercher. This is where you are telling your examiner, well, look, I'm using a future here. Here, je vais chercher is a futur proche. We're using to go in the present tense plus the infinitive of the verb you want to do. So I'm going to search for or look for, okay? If you want it to be even more clever and show the examiner, well, look, I can conjugate in the future tense, then learn how to conjugate chercher, for example, in the future tense. Je chercherai. Okay? And here you've got the bonus point. Donc, cet été, je chercherai, okay? Ou je vais chercher un petit boulot. Okay? Now, boulot is a slang word. Again, it's a bonus point if you manage to put these little slang words, a little job, okay? A summer job, un petit boulot. Why do you want to do that? Pour acquérir. Now, acquérir is acquire. It's a hard one to say, but it's actually really similar to English, to acquire. So what do you want to do? You want to acquire what? Une expérience professionnelle. Okay? So then you put, je chercherai un petit boulot pour acquérir de l'expérience. L'expérience. Je chercherai un petit boulot pour acquérir de l'expérience. How do you say professional? Yeah, it is professionnel. Now, what you need to do here, and in order to be very accurate, is knowing the gender of expérience. Now, expérience is a feminine word. Therefore, professionnel, the adjective, is going to be also feminine. I-double-L-E, professionnel. And we don't say professional experience. In French, the adjective often comes after the noun and not before. Okay, so this is how I would cover section B of this exam. In the next video, I will cover the longer part, C, which requires 150 words, okay? Here, you've got roughly 90 words. But if you want more in-depth preparation for the GCSE, then please have a look at my awesome course at learnfrenchwithalexa.com, GCSE. And you can use this code for 15% off. here to help you so you don't have to read my lousy handwriting is the proper answer here. You can screenshot it, you can do whatever you want with it. It is yours. Bonne chance, au revoir, à bientôt, bisous bisous.